So I would love to be a fly on the wall at this meeting. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think there will be a reconciliation of sorts?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say with Trump what he will say or do, but I think I know almost all the individuals who are reportedly attending, and they're all good people. I mean, Tim Cook in particular, super values-driven person, and I think it's good for people to talk rather than talk about each other. So I'm optimistic.
Do you have any concerns about Trump in the Oval Office?
I think it's a wake-up call for a lot of people, especially in Silicon Valley, who for once didn't get what they wanted, and to stop referring to the rest of the country as flyover country, and that there is a lot of things going on that Silicon Valley has been out of touch with.
Do you have any concerns about the state of Silicon Valley, the future of Silicon Valley, the future of innovation under Donald Trump?
I have concerns that are different from those. We were talking earlier, I learned that 62 people in the world control as much wealth as the poorest 4 billion. And that's stunning. They could fit in this room, and I probably know half of them. And that's down from almost 400 people 6 years ago. And so I think there are some real problems to talk about that are different than whether Silicon Valley will get along with the president.
Now, I know that you're close friends with Peter Thiel, who was sort of the lone Silicon Valley Trump supporter. How do you feel about his contrarian views having a potentially great influence on the president?
Peter's a friend. He's someone I respect a lot. I think he called it. He said the election was going to go this way, and I think he said for a couple years that people were unhappy and pessimistic. And I think we have a new president who was elected fair and square. And as an American, I think we should all want him to be successful. And so I've got great respect for Peter and his intellect, and do count him as a friend.
Has Peter asked you to help in any way? I know he's been trying to rally the troops.
If Peter asked me to help, I'd help him.
Anything you would like to contribute?
I'm just going to leave it at that.
Now, you did move your family outside of Silicon Valley down to San Diego, in part, as I understand it, because of a disillusionment with Silicon Valley culture. Can you explain that decision?
Yeah, there's a bubble here of a concentration of wealth, and on the flip side, a pursuit of innovation and disruption, which I think is really admirable. But it's easy to fall prey to that and be pulled into a vortex of kind of belly button gazing and self-interest. And I deliver Meals on Wheels, and when you go out and see real people who are not building apps but who are hungry or alone, I think it puts you a little bit more in touch with the rest of the world.
So outside the vortex, there are still a large amount of people with great concern about a Trump presidency. The CIA has now told Congress that Russia not only tried to hack the election, but also hacked it to help Donald Trump. Trump has attacked the CIA for this revelation, if you will. What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, I haven't seen any evidence myself that the outcome would have been any different. Of course, no foreign power.
We don't know.
Well, no foreign power should interfere in our elections. So I think we can all agree on that. But at the end of the day, I think we should judge Trump on what he does rather than what he says, or certainly what other people say about him. And I think that's probably a good rule just in life for all of us to follow. And I think this news about the election is just breaking now, so it's hard to know exactly what happened and what didn't happen.
What about the idea that Rex Tillerson could be our Secretary of State, the CEO of Exxon, and someone with strong friendly ties to Russia and President Putin?
Again, he's not Secretary of State. Trump isn't president yet, and that hasn't happened. But ExxonMobil is a gigantic corporation and involves a lot of responsibility to run a company like that. And I wouldn't judge. I try not to corral people into what they can be as to what they have been. And I would rather wait and see, and proof's in the pudding. Okay,
so Trump has said that climate change is a hoax, and you are somebody that I know is very passionate about clean energy. The latest is that Rick Perry is the top candidate for energy secretary. Do you have any concerns about the future of clean energy?
Yeah, I have concerns. They go beyond that, but I think, Rick Perry, who I don't know personally, but the governor of a very large state, an energy-producing state, I don't think it's, again, he's not in the position yet. I don't even know if he's been officially picked.
It's not official.
Yeah, so it's probably not worth speculating too much, because part of the problem, I think, for me, has been turning everything into fantasy football and a sporting event and making judgments when nothing's happened yet. So I definitely have concerns and would like to see clean energy advance, but I think Bill Gates had a great announcement just in the last 24 hours about that.
In many ways, some of this stuff has not happened, but there's been a lot of tweeting going on. So
I think I'm not a tweeter. I don't look at Twitter. I think we'd probably all be healthier if that were the case.
Bill Gates, Jack Ma, Jeff Bezos, Vinod Khosla, John Doerr are now backing this new $1 billion clean energy fund. Do you think that this fund will actually move the needle in an area that has been slow to have big exits?
I hope so. There are people I all know. I know all of them, and I admire them. And I think Bill Gates, in particular, has a kind of amazing track record, especially in healthcare, of helping to rid the world of polio, on the way to hopefully doing the same with malaria. And if he can do in healthcare, if he can do in energy what he's done in healthcare, I think that'd be fantastic.